It's like a broken record. Andre Pallante and the St. Louis Cardinals lose again. The futility of Palante on the mound and then Gorman and Walker at the plate has become comedic at this point. So we're going to cry, laugh our way through it together on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, and I am a former national radio sports anchor, born and raised in St. Louis, lifetime Cardinals fan. I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. This right here is a show serving Cardinal Nation and gives you all the info about the birds on the bat, whether you want it or not. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. So on today's show, we're going to discuss the season-ending injury to Wilson Contreras. The absolute gem tossed by Michael McGreevy on Tuesday night. We're going to sprinkle some Thomas Saggese in there as well. But we're going to start with what we saw today in the Cardinals series finale and season finale against the Cincinnati Reds, which was another lifeless, boring, and pathetic showing by just about everyone involved. Pretty much. No, there wasn't a whole lot going on in this one. Most of this season, I have, and everydayers can back this up, I have held back from getting too upset or too critical on guys. You know, some people get on my case for not calling people out more often. And the reason I don't is because it's a very long season. There's always going to be a lot of twists and turns and ups and downs. But at this point, with 9 games remaining on the schedule, there is not much left to say about the performance of 3 guys that I want to talk about today. 3 guys that this team relied upon to become better this season, to help them into the future. And none of them have done it. All 3 of them, in my eyes, have failed in 2025 in a huge way, too. And you got to see all 3 of them on display in Wednesday's loss at Busch Stadium. And before we get into this, I do want to say that this is nothing personal. This isn't about the type of people these guys are or how hard they are or aren't working. This is just about what I see on the field. I watch every single game. I don't enjoy watching the Cardinals lose because I'll get people who yell at me for, why are you so hard on these guys? You're not even a fan. You hate it. That's not true at all. All I want them to do is be good and win. It brings me no joy to talk bad about these guys. I want them all to succeed. I want them to go 162-0. It sucks seeing this once proud franchise wallowing below 500 for the second time in 3 seasons. I hate it. But at the same time, I can't keep baby talking about these people as if everything is going to be okay tomorrow. There is no tomorrow for this team. And some of these players are to blame specifically for why this team is not good. Their performances have been unacceptable. They're grown men. These are professional baseball players. They can take it. Let's start with Andre Palante, shall we? Who in this game got off to a decent start, had the Reds chasing through the first 3 innings. No idea why the Reds were chasing as much as they were, but they were, and it was working. But as soon as the Reds realized that, okay, this guy can't throw strikes, what are we doing? That's when it fell apart. 4th inning, Reds rookie Sal Stewart, who it seems is going to be a pain in the butt for the Cardinals for years to come, as long as he's wearing a Cincinnati Reds uniform, that he's going to be a problem. He's going to be trouble. So just be aware. But he takes a 1-out walk. A rookie is the one that started this whole thing. Takes a 1-out walk. Palante only gets 1 pitch in the zone against him. Then steps in Elly De La Cruz, who has hit awful, has been terrible in the second half of the season. He works a 7-pitch walk. Again, only 1 pitch actually in the zone. Elly was swinging it crap below the zone and fouling him off, and only 1 pitch actually was in the zone and would have been a strike. So now you're 1st and 2nd at 1 out, And Andre gets a lot of ground balls. He does. And that's great because that means the double play is always available, right? It's certainly in play to get out of this inning. But the next hitter also knows that you're struggling and you aren't throwing strikes and will probably try to get ahead of the count. You don't want to load the bases, so you're going to probably try to get ahead of the count with something that you know you can probably throw for a strike. And what is that pitch? A fastball, a four-seam fastball. Had no control of the sinker, couldn't get the breaking ball over, so probably going to come with a fastball, right? The guy that was coming into the box, his name was Spencer Steer. He's no dummy. Pretty good major league hitter. He tattoos that first pitch, which, guess what? Four-seam fastball, thrown right over the heart of the plate. A little low in the zone, but it was over the heart of the plate. It wasn't on a corner or anything like that. Just to kind of get me over, let me try to get ahead type of fastball. And Spencer Steer didn't miss it and hits it over the center field wall to make it 3-1. Basically ended the game right there because the Cardinals offense was in zombie mode again. Pallante goes 5 innings, 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 2 wild pitches, 3 strikeouts. Just a big bag of garbage. It's just not good enough. It's not, and everyone knows it. He's now 0-8 in his last 9 starts, 1-12 in his last 15. It's the end of the year. They're going to keep throwing him out there, whatever. But there's nothing that he's doing that tells you that he should be even mentioned about being a part of this rotation in 2026. Maybe in the bullpen, because again, I respect that he can get some ground balls. But this starter thing is over. He's not good enough. His birthday, I think, is tomorrow, on Thursday. Happy birthday. But we're talking about a late 20s guy now. This is not a 22-year-old, 23-year-old guy that you're trying to mold still. No. He's going to be 27 and still hasn't figured it out yet. He's the next Jake Woodford. That's what he is. He's not good enough. Chaim Bloom and the Cardinals have got to do better than an Andre Pallante in your rotation in 2026. If you're interested in winning ball games. If you're not, then put him back in there and let there be 5,000 people in the stands again in 2026. The other two guys I want to focus on is the duo of Nolan Gorman and Jordan Walker, who combined to go 0 for 8 with 6 strikeouts today. And I'm done with the excuses. I am done with the rah-rah stuff. The bottom line is that neither of these guys look like major league hitters, and despite seeing more at-bats in recent weeks, have gone the wrong way and are cratering instead of ascending. They're not getting better. They look terrible. We got a few games out of Gorman this year where he didn't look completely oblivious at the plate. Big deal. Big deal. His last 15 games, he's got 54 at-bats and is batting 148 with 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 26 strikeouts. His last 105 at-bats, he's batting $171 with 48 strikeouts and just 4 home runs. He's been awful. Jordan Walker, in his last 15 games, 45 at-bats, he's batting 89. He is batting under 100. He has 2 RBIs. He has 2 and 23 strikeouts. The dude might as well not even carry a bat up to the plate. Just stand there and see if they'll walk you, because watching you flail away in pitches outside the zone over and over and over, and then miss pitches that are over the plate is making me want to smash things. His last 30 games, he's had 96 at-bats. He's batting $167 with 7 RBIs and 40 strikeouts. Nothing is working. He just continues to appear more and more lost at the plate. Everyone always asks me, well, what do you think he needs to do to fix it? It's not rocket science what he's got to do. He has to learn to lay off the pitches off the plate and away. He's just got to stop it. He's got to learn to recognize that that is going to be a ball. And he can't hit it. So don't swing at it. You got to quit swinging at it. And if he does that, that is going to force the opposing pitchers to come back over the plate with something they can throw for a strike. So more than likely a fastball, right? And when they come over the heart of the plate, You can't swing and miss at it every time. You got to be able to hit it. You got to make them pay. You got to do damage. It sounds simple. It's not. I know it's difficult, but capable major league hitters are able to do that. And right now, he and Gorman are not capable major league hitters. They're just not. None of this stuff is working. Whatever they're doing behind the scenes, it ain't working for either of these guys. They chase too much. They swing and miss too much. And they're swinging and missing at pitches that they should be hammering. Pitches that are in the zone. Multiple times in this game, they came back over the plate for Jordan Walker and just threw it right past him. Right past him. It's as if they have holes in their backs. Certainly they have holes in their swings, which is causing these problems. But pitches they should be barreling, they're missing. Put it bluntly, they are bad hitters. They just are. Now, this whole episode is not going to be negative. I refuse to do that. We're going to have more positive things to talk about. Deep breaths. On a positive note, we did see something very, very cool on Tuesday night. We got two guys who actually did some pretty cool things that make me much happier to discuss. We're going to do that coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. It is the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off for you. You and I, we make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right actually means cashing in. Football's back, guys. I'm excited about it. You're excited about it. PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections. So what is a player's projection? Okay. Well, basically, like I won this week. All right. Monday night games is the ones that I like to pay attention to. So Justin Herbert and Baker Mayfield both had under, or I should say more or less, 1.5 passing touchdowns. I said more for both of them, and I won. And it was super quick. You can get it done in just 60 seconds or less. PrizePicks makes it fun. It made those Monday night games that I didn't care who won or lost. It made it that much more entertaining. And the best part, even if one of your picks misses, PrizePicks invented the flex play so you can still double your money. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you enjoy daily Cardinal content, you can follow this podcast on X at @LO_Cardinals. We're also on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals as well. So let's talk about some positive news, okay? Because I'm not normally a screamer or a yeller, but man, I'm just fed up with watching some of this garbage that we're seeing from this St. Louis Cardinals baseball team, and I know you are too. So it's time to vent together. But positive stuff, because there's not a whole lot of that going around. But when we get a chance to praise someone for doing something well, I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to focus on that a little bit. And how can you not be impressed with what you saw from Michael McGreevy on Tuesday night? Not only did, he pitched really well on Tuesday, but as a whole so far here in his rookie season, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good to watch. And since he took over his rightful spot as a member of this starting rotation, things have gone pretty darn well for Michael McGreevy. He's a rookie. There's going to be bumps in the road. He's not a big strikeout guy, so there's going to be some games where he gets dinged a little bit. I know that. You know that. We're not expecting this guy to come out and be Paul Skeens by any means. But he's been a pretty good pitcher. Tuesday, he had the Reds in an absolute blender. Fired 7 shutout innings, allowed just 3 hits, struck out 6. Lone blemish that you can point at and go, well, that's got to improve. That would be the 3 walks, because we know that's not a good thing. You're playing with fire when you walk and put people on for free. But rarely did he look like he was even stressed in that game, flustered or anything that the Reds did against him. Like even when he did walk some guys, he was like, I'll get it done. It's one of my favorite things about him. To be a starting pitcher, you got to have a certain demeanor, and there's certain ways to go about it. Bob Gibson and Chris Carpenter, the bulldog mentality, but then you've got guys like Michael McGreevy, who just kind of looks calm and collective like a Jeff Suppan. Something like that, where he looks like he's in control. He's cool. He's cool. Relax. And he appears confident more times than not. And it doesn't hurt, obviously, when you're dominating the competition like he did the Reds on Tuesday night. You're obviously going to have a little swagger to yourself and feel good and be able to smile. But more times than not, Michael McGreevy's out there pitching well, so he has a reason to smile. And this is the second time that he's pitched really well against the Cincinnati Reds. So nice that he's doing it against division opponents. And it's not like he was fooling a lineup that hadn't seen him before, where it's like, well, it's the first time we got to look at him, so it's a little awkward. We hear that excuse from the Cardinals all the time. That didn't happen in this one. It's not like they were catching the Reds off guard by throwing Michael McGreevy at him. He just threw against them on August 30th, where he went 6 innings and allowed just 1 run on 5 hits. He didn't strike anyone out in that game, which is pretty odd in this day and age where strikeouts are in abundance. But McGreevy isn't a strikeout guy. And one of the guys that I grew up watching that I always loved was Greg Maddux, who, he would have strikeouts and whatnot, but like a Maddux, and I'm not saying McGreevy is Maddux, but just to kind of put into perspective, this isn't a guy that throws in the upper 90s and blows people away. He has to rely on changing speeds and movement and hitting his spots to beat his opponents, which is what Greg Maddux did for forever. And when you see McGreevy getting strikeouts, which, 6 of them, 5 of them coming in the 6th and 7th innings, which is even more rare because usually after, hitters have seen you a couple times, they're going to know what's coming and you would think they would put the ball in play more. He got better as the game went on. So, he was feeling good on Tuesday. One of the keys to his performance was not doing what he did in the last outing against the Reds when he faced them a couple weeks ago. Now, Daniel Guerrero at STLtoday.com, friend of the show, pointed out that after using his sinker as his primary pitch in Cincinnati and flashing his curveball often than his sweeper in that start, McGreevy's four-seam fastball was his most often used pitch on Tuesday. The fastball was his put-away pitch. On 4 of his 5 strikeouts, the curveball was used less often than his sweeper compared to his previous outing against the Reds, but he had a 31% called strike plus whiff rate after it had a 16% called strike plus whiff rate in his August 30th outing per StatCast. So he switched it up. He didn't just come at him the same way he did last time. He made adjustments. Manager Ollie Marmol had nothing but good things to say about the 25-year-old right-hander, as he should, saying that you look at some of the swings and his ability to use that four-seamer right on right, the curveball, the cutter. We talked about it earlier in the office. One of the things we're impressed with is his ability to not be scared to do something in his next outing that he hasn't done before. He has no fear. He looks at it differently. He looks at it as an opportunity of, what if it works? It will take me to that next level of my career. Really nice job by him today. That's awesome to know that this rookie, who didn't have the greatest minor league career for whatever reason, something has clicked in the last 2 seasons, and he's really learned to be a better pitcher. Now, it's not that, because you look back, hindsight, I get it. Just having Michael McGreevy in the rotation the whole season probably doesn't help save this team from where they are right now. But remember way back when, in like May and June, when they were still in the thick of the NL Central and the wild card talk. They were only 4 games out recently, but imagine if Michael McGreevy was making starts instead of Eric freaking Fetty. And I understand why they kept putting Fetty out there, hoping he would turn his sinking season around and maybe they could swap him at the deadline and get something in return, but it never happened, and it kept costing the Cardinals more and more games. What did he finish? 3-10 with the Cardinals? Like, he was dog crap. McGreevy's been 10 times. He's been 100 times the pitcher that Eric Fetty was, and has already recorded 7 wins and 15 appearances. 14 of those were starts. Remember that first one he came in relief. Was that for Pallante too? Or was it for Fetty? I forget. So long ago. It was just for the first game. But he comes in and gets the win in that one. And the Cardinals are 9-5 in his 14 starts. And what that tells me is more times than not, he's giving this team a chance to win. The team has confidence in him, and there's just a sense of positivity when he is scheduled to pitch. I have it when I'm getting ready to talk about a game. I'm like, ooh, McGreevy's pitching tonight. All right, so things will probably be okay. At least it'll be an entertaining game. It won't be a poop show like it is when Pallante is on the mound, or the risk of a poop show when Miles Michaelis is on the mound. And the Cardinals desperately need a whole lot of that type of feeling going into the 2026 season, where they have faith and they have some confidence in the guy who's going to take the mound that day. And it's not just on the mound. They need those type of guys in the batter's box as well, because they don't have, I mean, how many of these guys do you even trust when they get up to the plate that you feel like, oh, he's going to probably come through? Maybe two dudes, maybe. Burleson, Ivan Herrera, Brendan Donovan. Anybody else? One of the guys that's been doing quite well recently, though, Thomas Saggese, who I'm starting to build a little faith in. He's been fun to watch. He's provided some positiveness in recent weeks. So let's talk about him. And of course, we got to mention the season-ending injury to Wilson Contreras, which is, bummer news for Willie. But we'll get into all of that coming up next year on Locked On Cardinals. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, investments. I mean, a lot of that jargon, I'm not, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And when you don't have the full picture, what happens? You can end up leaving money on the table. And that's why there is a thing called Monarch Money to help us. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. It's built for people with busy lives, people like me and you. If you put off organizing your finances, and who hasn't, Monarch is here for you. It's here for us. Monarch does the heavy lifting for us. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet, which is good news. Monarch can help you identify that you aren't saving as much as you thought. It can help you notice the inefficient investment allocations and discover forgotten 401ks from your past, maximize your investments, and much, much more. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code, one word, locked on MLB. Today's show also brought to you by Game Time. Nothing like catching a baseball game live. I know, plenty of seats available at Busch Stadium, but there's other sporting events coming up. How about the St. Louis Blues? I know we got a lot of confidence going into the season with them. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your favorite teams in person, but getting tickets, that can be tough. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. Nobody wants it. That's why you use Game Time. I do. You should too. The app that gives the advantage back to fans. Fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee, where you always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. Nothing more annoying than to see, oh, there's a $15 ticket. Go to checkout. Why is it $42 now? Don't have to worry about that with Game Time. Fees are included. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB and get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB Game Night, every game, every night until the World Series champion is crowned. You'll get local analysis, but on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your podcast. John Frisch from Locked On Angels and myself will be hosting once again here tonight on Wednesday. So in case you're watching this on Thursday, but Wednesday night, we always do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday together. So come on by, say hi. What is the future of this team on the infield? That's a very big question right now. I wish I knew. There's a lot of stuff up in the air. Is Arenado going to be back? Tried to get rid of him once. Didn't want to go. Is he going to do it this time? We'll see. Will Nolan Gorman be back? Where's J.J. Weatherholt going to play? Not playing shorts. Not going to play shortstop. Mason Wynn's there. Going to win a Gold Glove this year. So he's got to play third or second, right? Okay, that's fine. what's Donovan doing? Is he a second baseman, or is he going to be more of an outfielder moving forward? Are you trading him? All of this stuff that I'm talking about, it affects the future of Thomas Saggese. How is he going to get on the field more so he can continue his development as a player for the St. Louis Cardinals? Had that big 2-run shot on Tuesday night, which was great to see help propel the Cardinals to their lone victory in the series against the Reds. It was his first Busch Stadium home run, which was sad because only a couple dozen people were there to witness it. But Saggese has been one of the few guys that, one of the young players that has been hitting recently. Unlike Gorman and Walker, Saggese has thrived with more playing time and is hitting .414 over his last 7 games. That's 29 at-bats. His last 15 games, he's up to .293. Now, the power numbers, they're still not there. He was capable of hitting, he hit 40-something home runs over 2 seasons in the minor leagues recently. So is he going to be a 15 home run type of guy at some point? I don't know. But more playing time, you're starting to see him get more comfortable. Now, is he ever going to be something more than just a utility player? Who's to say? I don't know. But at least he's contributing. And for that, we applaud you, Thomas Saggese, for actually getting better this season instead of turtling like a couple of guys that we've talked about already. Bad news, though, on the Wilson Contreras front. And this is unfortunate. Bad news, but it's unfortunate that Willie is done for the year. He's done. Bicep issue, which has led to some shoulder issues. And if he continued to play through it, there was the possibility of things getting worse and worse. I was listening to the Reds telecast today, because I like to do that from time to time, listen to what the other perspective is, and they were talking about it. Former Cardinal Jeff Brantley is their color guy, and he was talking about, bicep problem to shoulder problem leads to labrum problems, and that's not something you really want to toy with because that can be a real problem. So they shut him down. Why push it? It's more precautionary than anything. It's not like he's, he can't do things, but there's really no need to push it right now. Same way with Mason Wen, there's no need to push it anymore. The season is all but done. Burley becomes your first baseman every day now, which opens up another outfield spot, allows someone else to get more action. One of those guys that should be playing every day down the stretch here, even though some people are rooting for Nathan Church to play more, which is fine. But Victor Scott the second. He's your best center fielder, is your fastest guy, steals your bases, had another stolen base in Wednesday's game, 33rd of the season. That's the most by a Cardinal since Edgar Renteria, the new Cardinal Hall of Famer. Edgar Renteria stole 34 back in 2003. The Cardinals as a whole, besides Victor Scott, only have 52 stolen bases combined. The only NL teams with fewer stolen bases are the Rockies, Braves, and Giants. Major League Baseball literally made it easier to steal bags. They made the bag bigger. They made the rules easier for you to steal bases, and the Cardinals still can't do it. They just don't have the guys that can do it. They need more athletes. They need better base running skills because it's not just about speed. It's not. Number one, you got to be on base, which is a problem for this team. You got to get on first before you can get to second, right? Number two, you got to be better at reading pitchers. Now, we've seen the Cardinals try to time up pitchers and try to steal bags, like get a good jump and stuff. Sometimes it works. A lot of times it doesn't. But I go and I look around the league and I'm like, some of the guys that surprised me was like Juan Soto. All right. Juan Soto's on base a ton. He walks a ton. He's not fast. He's in the 14th percentile of sprint speed. Just for reference, Victor Scott is in the 100th. He's in the elite top of the line. Juan Soto's way down here at number 14. And he has turned his on-base percentage into becoming a better base runner and has 32 stolen bases because of it. Josh Naylor of the Mariners. We just saw him when we were out in Seattle, right? He's in the 2nd percentile in sprint speed. He is one of the slowest runners in the league. He's like Yadier Molina slow. Remember Yadi would steal bags? You're like, how the hell is he doing that? He's so slow. Better base running skills, paying attention, reading pitchers better. Josh Naylor's got 27 stolen bases. You're telling me that none of these dudes for the Cardinals can steal more bases than what they're doing? No. You've got to be better than that. Or you need a manager who's more aggressive and will call for stolen bases a little bit more. I don't know when Ollie's calling for him or not. Maybe he's always giving him the green light. It's like, do it. And they're just not running. I don't know. But that is something the Cardinals have got to tap into in 2026. They have to bring the ability to steal bases to the forefront of what their offense is, because the odds are they're not going to go out and find 3 dudes who can club 30 to 40 home runs next year. So they got to figure out other ways to get the offense going. Stealing bases is one of those ways to do it. Again, you got to find guys who can get on first base and aren't going to strike out and not take walks. You got to get the OBP up. But they got to learn how to do it. They just do. It would certainly help with the amount of double plays they've rolled into this year as well, which I think last count was 107, fourth most in the National League. Go steal second. They can't turn a double play on you. So anyway, day off on Thursday before the final home series of the season when the first place Brewers come to town. Sonny Gray will be on the mound this weekend, or not all weekend, but Friday, I should say, to get it started. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube, and help our channel. And love for the Cardinals grow as we make the push for 13,000 subscribers before the season ends. Would love for you to be a subscriber if you're not already. Appreciate that. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals. I'm going to go drink a beer. Exhausting. This team is exhausting.